Isang maagham na umaga, grade 10 students. I am Miss Dea E. Mundo and I am back for another lesson for week 2 of the second quarter, which is all about electromagnetic wave calculations. Okay, so before we start, syempre, let's have an attendance check. So this time, we will be doing this differently. So I want you students to go to menti.com, okay, on your cell phones. Please type menti.com and please input the code 63174107. So again, please go to menti.com. Please type that on your browser and then enter the code 63174107. So bakit po natin yan pinapagawa? Kasi there you will be asked what section are you from? Okay? So, wait natin ng onte. Okay, again, please type 63174107 on menti.com and type the name of your section. So let me share my Menti screen. Okay, nakikita natin yung mga section na nandito na. We have, yan, pinakamarami, barium, we have calcium, bismuth, carbon, francium, aluminum. Okay, pinakamarami ay barium pa rin. Wait lang natin ang iba. Okay, so marami na rin ang section bismuth and boron. Okay, may nakikita na rin ako from section arsenic. Oh, all right. So far nakikita natin na parami ng parami yung mga pumapasok na students. Right now, we have 57, 58 students who have logged in their attendance, mostly from section boron and barium, also from section aluminum. Okay, how about yung mga hawak ko na mga section? Mukhang nagwa-warm up pa. We have arsenic, calcium. All right. So thank you students for logging in your attendance. Right now we have 85 students who have written their sections on Menti. So let me share my other screen again. Okay, parami ng parami pa yung ating mga students who are coming in and watching our live for today. So students, I hope that you can call or send a message to your classmates. Why? Because this lesson, this week, medyo mahirap kasi we will be doing mathematical calculation. So para saan ba? Okay, ang gagawin natin ngayon, first, our most essential learning competencies would be number 1, to solve problems involving wavelength, frequency, and energy of electromagnetic waves. So dyan pa lang medyo mabigat na yung ating gagawin. And of course, to compare the relative wavelengths, frequencies, and energies of the different regions of electromagnetic waves. So these concepts are not new to you kasi these were already discussed by Mr. Ariel Ondoy last week. By the way, shout out kay Mr. Ariel Ondoy. He is our streamer right now and si Sir Ariel ay malapit na rin po ang kanyang birthday, ilang araw na lang. So batiin naman po natin ng happy birthday si Sir Ariel. So siya po ang nag-i-stream sa akin at sa aking mga kasamahan sa mga susunod na araw. So again, reminder, you will be using a calculator. I hope you have a calculator with you. A scientific calculator will do. Okay? Pero kung wala, okay, kung wala kayong ganito, pwede rin gumamit ng calculator sa inyong cellphone. Basta makinig lang ng mabuti para hindi kayo mapag-iwanan. So right now, we have students that are being flashed on our screen. Hello po sa inyo, John Paul Oliveros. Hello to Ashton, si Laran. Okay? So, bago tayo magsimula, let's have a short recall of what was discussed last time. So here I have 5 questions. I will be showing you pictures depicting a specific electromagnetic wave. Then I will be giving a clue on each type of electromagnetic wave. So what you will be doing is to guess that electromagnetic wave. Okay. So first, electromagnetic wave. Okay? So, ano kaya itong electromagnetic wave na ito? Sige nga, students. Based on the pictures that are shown on the screen. Okay, according to Justin Lucio, X-ray. Okay, let's check if X-ray is correct. Okay, sabi rin ni Kathleen, student ko to X-ray, Justin Pinkian, X-ray. X-ray is correct. So ito ay bones, radioactive, and ito naman yung chine-check yung mga gamit natin whenever we go to LRT or we go to airports. Okay, very good students. So, number 2, ano naman kaya ito? Okay, the clue is this. What type of electromagnetic wave is this? Okay. Ano kaya? Okay, according to Monica, microwave. Tama kaya ang microwave? Justin Lucio, okay, very active student. Microwave din. Peter, microwave. Okay, is microwave correct? Okay, very good students. Microwave is correct. Nakikita naman dyan sa ating clue sa gitna. Ito yung pinaka-familiar sa atin. Okay? But then we also would want to know that microwaves are the types of electromagnetic waves emitted by our cell phones. So more of that to be discussed in the next weeks. Number 3, ano naman po kaya ito? May araw, tapos may ilaw dito, tapos ito, yan yung pang-check ng mga pera. Okay, the clue is this. Okay, what type of electromagnetic wave is this? Okay, according to Adrian, ultraviolet, o ito hindi ko to student pero nakikita ko sobrang active nito. Also Sheila May, ultraviolet. Tingnan nga natin kung tama. Okay, very good students. Number 3 is ultraviolet. Tama rin si Regine and si Mark Jarrell. So, ultraviolet ang ginagamit sa mga applications na yan. So, itong pangatlong picture, ito yung artificial tanning. So, sa ibang bansa, yung mga mapuputing mga tao, gusto nila na umiitim sila, humihiga sila dyan para magkaroon sila ng darker or tanner na skin. Fourth, electromagnetic wave. O yan, napaka-obvious kung ano yan. Ano kayang klase po na electromagnetic wave po? Si number 4, radio. Okay, according to Facebook user, radio wave. Okay, according to James Abella, radio waves. Okay, is that correct? Okay. Radio wave is correct. O, napakagagaling ng mga students. Mukhang talagang nakikinig sila last time kay Sir Ariel. So, we have radio wave. Correct din si John Paul and Erica. These are my students. Thank you, guys, for participating and watching sa ating lesson for today. Sana hindi kayo mawala. Please be with us until the end of this lesson. And the last electromagnetic wave, ano naman po kaya ito? May araw din, tapos itong nasa gitna, pinapasok yan sa katawan ng tao para malaman yung nangyayari sa loob. And then this one, ito yung ginagamit natin sa internet. So the clue is this one. Ano po kaya? Si electromagnetic wave number 5. Okay, according to Justin Pinkian, visible light. Also, Kathleen, visible light. Okay, nakikita ko. Andrea, visible light. Nakukuha naman ng marami. The correct answer is visible light. So, may I see your scores, guys? Over 5 for our review. Meron bang mga naka-perfect? Meron bang naka-5 over 5? Okay. So, sa nakikita ko, napakarami ng mga nakakuha ng mga tamang sagot. So, it means that, okay, very good si Regine, 5 over 5, Kathleen. It means that you are really listening and watching sa ating previous discussion with Sir Ariel Ondoy last week. So, let's go now to our lesson proper. Very good, guys. Natutuwa po ako na kayo lahat ay nakikinig. So, last time, okay, these were the important concepts that we have discussed. So first, we learned that electromagnetic waves can travel through vacuum with a speed of 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second. So 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second is a very fast speed. That is around 300 million meters per second. We also discussed that the wavelength is the distance between two identical points in a wave. So if we will be putting that in a diagram, okay, ito po siya. Makikita nyo rito that yung upper points, we call that crests. So these terms were discussed when you were in grade 7. Okay, so the distance from one crest to the next crest is called a wavelength. The same thing, the distance between one trough to the next trough, which are the lowest points, we call that also one wavelength. And also, we also discussed frequency. Okay? Frequency is defined as the number of vibrations per unit time. Okay? So, kung ilang beses siyang nag-ulit-ulit na ganyan. Alright? So, okay, you were also discussed the electromagnetic spectrum. So, dyan, makikita natin yung 7 klase ng electromagnetic waves. From left to right, we have radio waves, radio waves, microwaves rather, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. If you will notice, guys, or students, the visible light is divided also into colors. So, these are the colors of the rainbow. Okay? Sige nga, sino nakakaalala ng ating mga letters ng colors of the rainbow? Please type that in the comment section. Naalala nyo pa ba? What are the colors? Okay, so nakikita ko po, James Abella, Roy G. Biv. That's correct, anak. We have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Correct din si Justin. So, if you will notice, the electromagnetic waves are arranged, okay, in increasing frequency from left to right. Okay? Pero if we start with the wavelength, mapapansin po natin that the wavelength is larger or longer on the left side of your screen, okay, this one, while the wavelength is shorter, okay, on the right side of your screen. Kitang-kita naman, masiksik po yung ating mga frequency, ay mga waves. But then, kahit short si wavelength, dito sa right side, makikita natin na mas mataas naman yung kanyang frequency. Okay? And at the same time, on the left side, we have a lower frequency. So what can we say about the relationship between wavelength and frequency? Are they directly proportional or are they inversely proportional? Sige nga, students, this is recap of your mathematics concepts. Are wavelength and frequency directly proportional or inversely proportional? Okay, according to Facebook user, Justin, inversely proportional. That is correct, students. So when we say inversely proportional, when one quantity increases, the other decreases. Tandaan po ha, Okay? Pag dumoble, ibig sabihin si frequency, dapat si wavelength ay kakalahati. Inverse ang kanilang relationship. Now, we will be adding another concept here, which is energy. And remember, energy is related to frequency. Okay, correct po students, inversely proportional si frequency and wavelength. So si energy ay directly proportional kay frequency. So when we say that the frequency is high, the energy is also high. Okay? And if the frequency, katulad na makita natin sa left side, is low, the energy is low. And that is the reason why gamma rays, which you can find on the right side of an EM spectrum, has higher energy than a radio wave. So what is the implication of that? Although this will be discussed in the next meetings, you will notice that whatever you find on the right side of an EM spectrum, these waves tend to be more dangerous if and only if you are exposed to that for a long time. Okay? Tandaan natin, ibig sabihin, since gamma rays have higher frequency, they have higher energy compared to radio waves, infrared, microwaves. More of that in the next meetings. Kasi our discussion for the day will be more on calculations. So, punta na tayo sa mathematics. So, dahan-dahanin lang po natin students kasi baka mabigla kayo. Meron tayong mga calculations. I hope you have your calculators with you. So, question nga, tingnan natin kung naintindihan niyo yung concept. Among the 7 electromagnetic waves, which of them has the highest frequency? Okay, please write your answers on the comment section. Among the 7 electromagnetic waves, which has the highest frequency? Okay, I can see same names for our keyboard warriors. Itong mga to talagang siguro ito yung matataas yung grades sa kanila mga teacher kasi sobrang active. Okay, the correct answer is gamma rays. Correct. How about the longest wavelength? Which wavelength? Okay, sino ang may ano kaya ang longest wavelength? Okay, ang daming sumasagot. Okay, according to Charles, radio waves, that is also correct. So makikita natin agad doon sa ating EM spectrum or electromagnetic spectrum kung alin dyan ang may longest wavelength. How about the lowest frequency? Which has the lowest frequency? Okay, according to Erica Cornejo, radio wave, that is also correct. So lowest frequency rin ang may longest wavelength. And finally, which has the highest energy? Alin naman kaya ang merong highest energy? Among the 7 electromagnetic waves. Okay, according to Facebook user, gamma rays, John Paul Corona, okay, gamma rays, correct guys. So, nakikita ko naman na kahit papaano naaalala niyo yung mga concepts na ating nire-recall. Again, these were discussed last meeting. Okay, so question natin. What happens to the frequency of a wave when the wavelength is doubled? Sabi natin kanina, frequency and wavelength, they are inversely proportional. So if you double one of them, let's say you double the wavelength, what happens to the frequency? Sige nga. Okay, what do you think happens? Okay. Ibig sabihin, inversely proportional, hindi dapat sila parehas na tataas. So, ano mangyayari kay frequency? Okay, the frequency decreases, correct. However, if you want to be specific, okay, the answer would be the frequency if is halved. Pag nadoble yung isa, mangangalahati yung isa. Okay, but the answer is correct then, the frequency decreases. O, tingnan natin. How about if the wavelength, or what happens to the wavelength when the frequency decreases to 1/4 of the original? What happens to the wavelength? Okay, this time, the frequency decreases to 1/4. Ano kayang nangyayari kay wavelength? Wavelength increases, yes, but how much kaya? How many times nag-i-increase? Okay, the answer that it increases, correct? How many times kaya nag-i-increase? Nagde-decrease ng 1/4, okay? Nag-i-increase kaya ng ilan? Balikan natin yung kanina ha. Nag-increase by 2, nag-decrease yung kabila ng 1/2. O ito kaya, nag-decrease siya ng 1/4, nag-increase kaya siya by how much? I can see 1/4, pero 1/4 is not correct. Ire-reciprocal lang natin siya, mga anak. Okay? Ano kaya ang reciprocal ng 1/4 kung naaalala sa math? Pag sinabing reciprocal, babaligtarin natin yung numerator and denominator, di ba? Okay, so I can see Facebook user answering 4. Okay, very good. Adrian, 4. Medyo matagal lang nakuha, pero it's okay, guys, kasi medyo mathematical na to, I understand. So, tatandaan natin ha, kapag inversely proportional, when we deal with it mathematically, we just get the reciprocal of the number. So, when one quantity decreases by something, 1/4, yung isa, mag-i-increase by 4. So, pag nag-increase naman yung isa by 3, magde-decrease yung isa into 1/3. Okay? So, parang nagre-reciprocate lang tayo. So, para mas maintindihan natin, okay, pagpunta na tayo sa calculation. So, here we will be dealing with 3 physical quantities. Remember these, guys. First is frequency. The symbol of frequency is F, and the unit is hertz, named after the scientist Heinrich Hertz, which was discussed last meeting. Tandaan po natin yan. We also have wavelength. The symbol is the Greek letter lambda. Okay, L-A-M-B-D-A. Lambda po yung basa dyan. The unit is a meter kasi it's a length. The unit is meter. And we have the energy. The symbol is a capital letter E, and the unit would be joules, or capital letter J. I hope you have a paper there and a pen so you can copy this kasi the next that I will be presenting is a bit difficult. These are the constants. When we say constants, these are numbers that I will no longer be giving you. Your teachers will no longer be giving you. But, okay, you should be remembering this. Kasi constant sila, hindi sila nababago. We will be having 2 constants here. Okay, first constant is the speed of light in vacuum, which was discussed last meeting. So that would be 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second. I hope alam nyo na to with all your heart. Dapat memorize nyo na yan kasi itong number na to ay makikita nyo kung saan-saan. And the other constants which I want you to write on your papers is the Planck's constant. Medyo mahaba to, guys. 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joule second. That is your Planck's constant. Again, we have 2 constants. We have the speed of light in vacuum. Okay, C is equal to 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second. And second, we have H, or the Planck's constant. That is 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joules second. Okay, so may tanong po ba? Kung walang tanong, paki-comment naman ang 0 sa ating chat box. Kung naintindihan naman kahit papaano ang mga pinagsusulat ni Ma'am Dea sa screen, please comment 0 on chat box natin. Okay, so thank you, students, for answering. Let's go now to our equation. So we will be dealing with 3 equations. Tandaan po natin yan. First equation, C is equal to lambda F. Remember guys, when we are having values or variables that are placed close to each other, they are multiplied. So C, or the speed of light in vacuum, is equal to the wavelength times the frequency. But take note, your wavelength and frequency must be on the correct units, meters and hertz. So don't worry, ang bibigay namin sa inyong mga bata ay madadaling mga problems. So naka-express na sila in meters and in hertz. Second equation. This relates energy and frequency. So energy is equal to your Planck's constant H times the frequency. I hope you are writing this on your papers, students, para matandaan. Pero if ever na gusto pong balikan, you can always play the rewind of our live stream now. And after that, pwede ring balikan ang module para dun sa mga students na hindi kayang manood ng live. And the third equation, which is the combination of equations 1 and equation 2. We have E, the energy is equal to Planck's constant times the speed of light in vacuum. H and C are given na, hindi ko na ibibigay sa inyo yan. Kayo na bahala dyan. Divided by the wavelength. Okay? So, tandaan yung tatlong equation na yan at gagamitin natin yan in a short while. So, I have here 3 sample problems. Let me share my screen. Lilipat lang ako na i-share ko, Sir Ariel. Okay, so let's have sample problem number 1. So problem number 1 reads, what is the frequency of green light that has a wavelength of 5.25 times 10 raised to negative 7 meters? Okay, so tandaan students we need calculators. So, meron kayo makikita dyan na 5 words. We have given, required, equation, solution, and answer. We call this the GRESA. Every time, students, that you are solving problems, you have to indicate the given, required, equation, solution, and answer for you to be able to follow the correct way on how to solve the problem. Kasi kung direkta solution tayo, direkta equation, baka may makalimutan tayo na mga details. So, let's analyze the equation, the problem rather. So, what is the frequency of green light that has a wavelength of 5.25 times 10 raised to negative 7 meters? Ano ang given? Okay? What is the given here? Is it the frequency or the wavelength? Students? Ano yung ibinigay sa atin ng problem? Okay, so correct si James Abella, wavelength. So, ayan, isusulat natin siya. Okay, so pagpasensya nyo na po yung sulat ko kasi medyo si teacher ay pasmado. So, sulat natin si given, wavelength, that's lambda, is equal to 5.25 times 10 raised to negative 7 meters. Okay? Meron pa ba tayong ibang given? Okay? Wala na. Pero malalaman natin mamaya kung ano yung ating mga gagamitin na constant depending on the required. Kasi ang hinahanap natin dito is the frequency. Okay? It's very obvious. The frequency is given, frequency is being required because it is said here, what is the frequency? Now, if you will remember or take a look back on the equations that I have given to you, a while ago, the equation that relates frequency and wavelength is this equation. C is equal to lambda F. And that is equation number 1. So therefore, we will be needing C, which is equal to 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second. Hindi na po yan ibibigay sa inyong problem because that is a constant. Constants are not given, but you have to remember those numbers. Now, let's go to the solution. So, let's substitute the values. We have 3 times 10 raised to 8 is equal to, your wavelength is 5.25 times 10 raised to negative 7 times F. Purahin lang natin itong mga sulat-sulat sa gilid. So, we need to segregate F. So, we will be dividing both sides by 5.25 times 10 raised to negative 7. Okay, para makancel po ito. So, we will be having 3 times 10 raised to 8 divided by 5.25 times 10 raised to negative 7. So, to do that, we will be needing your calculator. I have here a virtual calculator. So, we will be typing that on our calculator. 3 times 10 raised to 8 on the numerator divided by 5.25 times 10 raised to negative 7. So if ever that you are using normal calculators, you can just simply type the numbers, but remember to add parentheses. Kasi we have what we call the PEMDAS rule. If ever you forgot the parentheses, okay, pwedeng magkaroon ng mali ang sagot. So here the answer would be this one, 5.71428571 times 10 raised to 14. That is too long. So we will be rounding that off to 5.71, okay, times 10 raised to 14 hertz. That is your final answer. Okay, so para dun sa mga gumagamit ng calculator na normal lang, I will be repeating how you can input the values. I will just change the mode here. Okay. Again, don't forget the, good morning po ma'am. Nanonood po ang aming head, si Ma'am Bohol. Ayan. Don't forget the parentheses, guys. Okay? So, on the numerator, we have 3 times 10 raised to 8. Okay? You have close parentheses divided by 5.25 times 10 raised to negative 7. And you should arrive at the same answer, which is 5.71 times 10 raised to 14 hertz. We are rounding off our answers into 2 decimal places. So students, nakakasunod po ba? If you can follow, if you have somehow, if you have been able to get the correct answer on your own, can you please type 1 on the screen? Okay. Okay, so nakakuha ni Kyle Simbilio. Okay, very good students. So again, if you are having difficulty with this lesson, you can always go back to our review or our replay. Kasi alam ko, I understand that this lesson is a bit difficult because it has a lot of calculations. So punta na po tayo sa next na ating problem. Okay, next problem shows, okay, what is the energy of a wave with a frequency of 3.29 times 10 raised to 14 hertz? What is given in the problem? What quantity is given in the problem? Okay, very good students. May nakita na po akong mga tamang sagot. Angel, okay, Angel, Adrian, Kathleen, Sheila, they said frequency. Okay, very good students. We are given the frequency. And what are we looking for? What is required in this problem? Okay, what is required? What are we looking for in this problem? Okay, very good. We are looking for the energy. So let me write those on our specific part. So given is frequency is equal to 3.29 times 10 raised to 14 hertz. Okay? And the required is the energy. Now, can you remember which equation can we use here? Which equation relates energy and frequency? Is it equation 1, equation 2, or the combination of equation 1 and 2? Okay, so nakita ko, sagot ni James, sagot ni Denise. Okay, we have equation 2, that is correct. And equation 2 writes E is equal to HF. So we have F, we need E, therefore we need also the constant H, which we call, okay, very good Facebook user, E is equal to HF. So H is equal to Planck's constant, 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joules second. Okay, can you follow, guys? Okay, I think a lot of you can follow kasi ang dami pa ring mga sumasagot. So, we are now ready to substitute the values. Okay? So, E is equal to, H is 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joule second times the frequency, 3.29 times 10 raised to 14 hertz. Sige nga, those who have calculators, can you compute? Pwede nating tanggalin yung unit dito para hindi tayo malito. Ako, normally, guys, I usually just write the unit in the given, but then in the solution, I just write the numbers para hindi ako malito dun sa mga units. What's important is that your given and answer has the correct units. Okay, kasi your processing, your solutions will be checked by your teachers, so it's okay for you to just omit the units whenever you are writing the solution. So, type natin sa ating magic calculator. Yan, lagay ko lang sa gitna. So again, don't forget to, okay, I am seeing an answer from Facebook user. I hope I can tell who he or she is kasi his or her answer is correct. However, he or she lacks the units. Again, incomplete po ang answer natin kapag wala tayong unit, ha. Remember, it's an energy, so it should have the correct unit, guys. Okay, energy yan. Okay, the correct answer, okay, it's joules. So, pakita lang natin kung paano yung gagawin, no? I will be showing two ways here. In a normal calculator, again, very important, guys, you have to include your parentheses. Otherwise, the PEMDAS rule will mess up your answer. Okay, very good, Kathleen. This is from 10 Arsenic. Very good, anak. So, we will be writing open parentheses. Okay, a very good Facebook user. Okay, 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34. Oops. Okay, divided by, it's not divide, it's multiply. So, dikit lang natin yung parentheses. Times 3.29 times 10 raised to 14. And then, don't forget the close parentheses. So, your answer here is 2.18 times 10 raised to negative 19, which is correct. Okay. So, E is equal to 2.18 times 10 raised to negative 19 joules. So, very good, students, no? Kasi I'm happy that you are able to follow our discussion. So I will be showing the other way of doing it kasi there are scientific calculators that are in math mode. So pag naglagay sila ng ano dyan, ganito yung lalabas. Okay, instead na caret yung parang ganyan, magkakaroon lang siya ng box sa taas. Then you just simply write your exponent there and you do the same with the other quantity. Okay, and you will arrive at the same answer, which is 2.18 times 10 raised to negative 19 joules. Of course, the answer would be long, but then we will be rounding off the answer into two decimal places. Okay, very good, students. I can see that a lot of you have already arrived at the correct answer. So let's now go to the third problem, which is the last problem for this session. Okay, third problem. Determine the wavelength of a photon with an energy of 5.8 times 10 raised to negative 19 joules. So, dagdag kaalaman lang mga anak. Pag sinabi nating photon, photon is a particle of light. Okay? So, ano naman kaya ang given? What is given in this problem? Okay? What quantity is given in this problem? Okay, so we are given the energy and that is equal to 5.8 times 10 raised to negative 19 joules. And what is required? What is being asked? What is being asked? Okay? Okay, very good. Giancarlo, to, advisory ko rin to. Very good, Rubio. Very good, JP. Okay, we are looking for the wavelength lambda. Okay, ang tawag sa letter na to ay lambda. Okay, now what equation relates energy and lambda? What is the easiest equation that we can use? Is it equation 1, equation 2, or the combination of equations 1 and 2? Or equation 3? Okay? Alin kaya ang ating gagamitin? Okay, very good, Angel. We will be using equation 3. Okay, very good, Denise. And that is equal to, okay, E is equal to HC over lambda. Okay, very good din si Eduardo Togonon. Talagang sinulat niya lahat yung equation. Very good, students. You can follow. So after identifying the given, okay, of course, we need H and C. We can write it here. H is Planck's constant, 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joules second. And C is 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second. All right? We can already substitute these values into your equation. And that would be E is equal to, okay, 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34. That is your H. C, okay, is 3 times 10 raised to 8. And lambda is 5.8 times 10 raised to negative 19. Guys, don't forget the parentheses ha. If you are using a normal calculator, you have to operate on the numerator first. Ito po muna. Okay? Tapos, pag nakuha niyo yung sagot, you divide it by 5.8 times 10 raised to negative 19. Sige nga, on your own, can you get the answer? Siguro maganda, i-simplify din natin muna yung nasa taas. Okay? So, over 5.8 times 10 raised to negative 19. So we simplify first the numerator. We have 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 times 3 times 10 raised to 8. Okay, we have 1.989 times 10 raised to negative 25. Okay, very important to guys ha. If you are still not in the final answer, you have to write all of the numbers. Okay, kasi if you round off here in the solution, you are not yet in the final answer, what will happen is that your final answer will be overrounded. So there might be errors in the final answer. So, ayan, we have 1.989 times 10 raised to negative 25 divided by 5.8 times 10 raised to negative 19. Okay, I'm seeing partially correct answers. Okay, again class, don't forget that 19 is negative. Okay, yung nasa baba. 25 is also negative. So, I think your exponents are incorrect. Okay, it's 3.43 times 10 raised to a different answer. Sige, type natin ulit. Dito. I-divide this by 5.8 times 10 raised to negative 19. Again, class, this is negative. Okay, so your answer must be, okay, convert po natin siya sa scientific notation. Your answer should be 3.43 times 10 raised to negative 7. Okay? So, okay lang yan, class. I will tell you kung saan po kayo nagkamali. Kasi based on what I am seeing, you got the 3.43, but you were wrong in the exponents. Most of you, as I can see, got 3.43 times 10 raised to negative 45. Alam nyo, class, kung saan kayo nagkaroon ng error? Kasi nakalimutan po natin ang parenthesis. Okay? Ganito po siya. Can you see the calculator on the screen? Okay, ulitin po natin ha. We already calculated 1.989 times 10 raised to negative 25. So we simply have to input that here. Okay, so, ayan. Yan, very good, Kathleen. Very good. Sa mga nakakuha, Adrian, okay, nakikita ko tama. So, we type 1.989 times 10 raised to negative 25. Okay, napansin nyo ba, class? Aside from the parentheses around 1.989 times 10 raised to negative 25, we also have the parentheses around the exponent, negative 25, for us to protect the negative sign. Kapag kasi wala po yan, pwedeng maguluhan si calculator natin. Hindi niya yan babasahin, hindi niya i-honor si negative. So we do the same with the denominator, which is 5.8 times 10 raised to negative 19. Okay? And you should get 3.43 times 10 raised to negative 7 joules. So why 3.43? Because we have 3.429. We simply round off the second digit kasi I ask you to express your answers into 2 decimal places. So I hope na nakuha nyo na guys kung paano yung gagawin. You have to be very careful when you are writing your answer or your numbers in your calculators kasi nalilito din sila when applying the PEMDAS rule. Okay? So kung nakuha nga, can I see 1? Please type 1 on your comment section. Kung nakuha yung ating pinagagawa ngayon, can you please type 1? Okay, so thank you, students. Again, if you are having difficulty understanding our lesson, kasi we understand it is entirely mathematical, you can go back to the replay of our lesson, or you can directly ask your science teacher for clarification. Okay, it's okay. Kasi um, we want you to understand what is going on in these calculations. Okay, so kung wala na pong tanong, let's go now to our short quiz or learning check. Because I want to check whether you understood our lesson for today. Okay, so question number 1. What happens to the wavelength of an EM wave when its wavelength is doubled? Is it letter A, doubled, letter B, halved, letter C, tripled, or letter D, unchanged? Okay, the correct answer is, sinabi na to kanina, okay? Oops, meron palang error yung ating question, no? It should be what happens to the wavelength of an EM wave when its frequency is doubled. So I'm sorry for this error, but the correct answer here is have. Okay. So pasensya na, nagkamali po tayo, nagkaroon tayo ng error sa ating question. Next question. Which of the following colors of light consists of the longest wavelength? Is it red? Is it blue? Yellow? Or violet? Which of the following colors of light consists of the longest wavelength? Okay, the correct answer is letter A, red. Very good. Yung mga nagsagot ng A, Angel Rubio, Kyle Simbilio, Desiree Epis. Okay, we also have a lot of Facebook users. Justin Lucio, okay, John Lawrence Almine. Okay, very good kayong lahat. Question number 3. Why do gamma rays have the greatest penetrating energy? Okay, is it that because they have the lowest frequency? Or is it that they have the longest wavelength? Okay, or letter C, they have the highest frequency? Or letter D, they have longer wavelengths than X-rays? Ano po kaya ang tamang sagot sa number 3? Okay, I can see a lot of letter C's. Let's see if letter C is correct. Okay, letter C is correct. Very good, students. So, nakuha nyo naman yung ating mga concepts. Punta tayo sa question 4 and 5, which is calculation and good for 2 points. What is the wavelength of a photon with an energy of 5.1 times 10 raised to negative 19 joules? So, clue, our formula here, since we are given the wavelength and you are looking for the energy, is this one, hc over lambda. Sige, I'll give you a few minutes to answer. Okay, you can use your calculators. Ano po kaya ang sagot? What is the wavelength of a photon with an energy of 5.1 times 10 raised to negative 19 joules? Okay, ito bang mga bago nagsasagot? Is your answer for number 4 to 5 already? Okay, according to Abigail, letter C. According to Charles Arcilia, letter C. Okay, so, yan, good for 2 points po ito, guys, ha? The correct answer is Correct, letter C. So katulad lang po ito nung problem number 3 natin. We will be doing the same process. We multiply Planck's constant by the speed of light in vacuum and then divide it by the wavelength, which is 5.1 times 10 raised to negative 19 joules. So very good, students. I can see that somehow you are able to understand our lesson for today. So may I see your scores? Can you please type that on our comment section? Who got 5 over 5? Okay, meron po kaya naka-perfect? Okay. So, okay lang yan dyan, Carlo, 3 over 5. It's still okay. Okay, meron din tayong mga naka 4 over 5. Ayan. So, marami din pong naka 5 over 5. So, very good, students.